Hello my dudes, and welcome back to another video. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more daily videos. With that being said, let's get started. What's the creepiest, scariest thing you've seen but no one believes you? When I was 7 or 8, I would have a reoccurring nightmare that one of my dolls came to life, played with me, and then would try to pull me into my closet with her. I'd follow her into the closet at first, but then she'd show me this little door in the back of my closet, and my heart would start to race. I don't know what it was about that door, but I knew something bad would happen if I went through it. I'd start to struggle and try to pull away, but the doll was too strong and start pulling me through the door. At this point in the dream, I'd always wake up screaming. The worst part was I had night terrors, so sometimes I'd wake up standing next to my closet. Every night before bed, I'd make my parents make sure there wasn't a little door at the back of my closet. There never was. Anyway, I was talking to my mom the other day and this dream came up. I'm laughing about it and how ridiculously paranoid I was about dolls in that closet, but my mom gets really quiet. She tells me the creepy part of that dream wasn't the doll. It was the fact that there used to be a little door at the back of the closet, but when I was 1 year old, they remodeled the house and put the wall where the door used to be. There was no way I could have remembered that door, but years later, I kept dreaming about it. None of my friends believe this story, but I swear it's true. Didn't see it but heard it. My friends and I got a cheap set of walkie-talkies from Walmart and were playing around with them in the middle of the day. There's a bit of silence as we're trying to figure out the volume, and out of nowhere, there's a male voice saying, "Mayday, Mayday, Mayday," that comes through all of our walkie-talkies, and it definitely sounds like it from one of those aircraft headsets. We try to answer back but there's no response. I called non-emergency but they said there weren't any reports of distressed aircraft or ships, and even if there were, they couldn't do anything about it. Alternatively, a couple months later I saw a plane with an engine on fire go over my campus, but apparently, no one else did. Just after high school, maybe 6 months or so after 9/11, I was a van driver who drove the Meals for Meals on Wheels to the place where they get packaged up and taken for home delivery. Anyway, the delivery van only had an AM/FM radio, and I was listening to 92.5 FM, when all of a sudden the station cuts out to a transmission that I can only describe as an American version of a numbers station began playing. It was seemingly random numbers followed by a long period of the same phrase, repeated over and over again. The phrase was, "They took the crosstown bus," over and over again. None of the other drivers heard it, but man, it was creepy to hear. Eventually, the regular radio station came back on and they never mentioned anything about it. The scariest thing I saw was at the age of 16. I woke up early in the morning, 4:30, 5-ish a.m., me and some friends were supposed to go on a road trip for the weekend. We had a long AF ride to one of the stops we wanted to visit, and didn't want to be there too late. I look out my window and it's still kinda dark outside. I walk downstairs and see wet footprints all over the house, and suddenly a big man, like 6'7". I was around 6'1" at the time, just bolted past me and out the front door. Not really creepy, but I sat at least 5 bricks and bolted upstairs to my dad. Nothing got stolen, but things were scattered all over the house. I woke up to something. It sounded like a door shutting. At first, I thought it was a dream because I could hear it in the dream as I was waking up. Kinda like when someone calls your name when you're dreaming. But then I looked at my cat, his hair was completely standing up and he was beaming at my bedroom door. This was the moment when I got really scared because I know animals can pick up on that stuff, and I thought he might know something's wrong. My cat doesn't do this type of thing unless a dog is in the room. So I looked over at the door, and the only way I can describe it is it looked like it was swaying, slowly. Like it was breathing, like someone was standing on the other side of it trying to hear if I was awake. This swaying was accompanied by a shadow. I don't mean a supernatural shadow, but it looked like the shadow of a person behind the door. I was paralyzed in fear. I lied there for 5 minutes naked, watching this door sway. I considered yelling and trying to scare them away, but I was terrified someone might respond. I legitimately thought this was the moment where I will have to defend myself, or be killed. I don't own a gun, but after 10 minutes or so I mustered up the courage to check every room in the house. I freaking checked every corner too. But there was no one there. I don't know what happened, but my evolutionary traits kicked in, and I completely believed someone was outside my door. This was 4 years ago. As I was walking on the sidewalk on a busy afternoon, I saw a suspicious boy, man about 18 years old. He was 10 meters away and walking what it looked like towards me. I kept my eyes on him, despite the fact that he wasn't looking directly at me. His eyes were roaming, jumping from an object to an object. As we approached one another, half a meter away from each other, he takes out a knife and tries to stab me in my left side. He wasn't really fast, so I easily dodged it and immediately turned to see who is he, or if he is trying to stab me again. To my surprise, he continues walking, and after a couple of meters, he stops, turns around, smiles, and gives me the thumbs up. Then he continues walking in the opposite direction. Till this day I don't know who he was, what he wanted, and even my family doesn't believe me. Because if someone wanted to stab you, you can't stop him. You aren't experienced enough to dodge it like that, and something of that kind. That's all for today's video. If you like it, make sure to subscribe for more daily Reddit videos. Thanks for watching. Until next time.